Hmm. Rotation is locked. It's not locked. I don't remember how we have the camera like this or like this.
I thought it was
Like
sideways.
this, right?
I thought
Yeah,
so.
because it goes. You can watch it on the big screen, without the black ends.
But don't worry about it. You're just going live for a little bit anyway. You should concentrate on getting it done before your eye gets completely black.
Oh, am I live already? I think I may be live already.
Yeah, I think you are.
I think I am. Well, we're live. All right. Don't look at the eye. So I guess we are live. I was trying to figure out how to do the orientation. Haven't done this in a while. But the way it started was, I know, right? That it's walking around the shop, looking at the camera, not looking at where I should be looking, and I walked into the wall. It wasn't ShopMom. So, like ShopMom says, you better do this before the bruising gets up. Anyway, what started it, and regards, hey, Craig White from the UK, and what started this was just in what do you do with a set of cylinder heads that are supposed to be just bolt on out of the box, and kind of one of those things that's are you true to yourself? Are you true to your DIY? People that are watching you, they're your followers that you're trying to help, even people that are getting into the machine shop, industry. Um, hey, Wade, thanks for look at this, look at that. Anyway, so I, want to be true to me, to my viewers, and don't want to, rag on a corporation or a company, get blacklisted. These companies nowadays, all kind of companies they own more than one company, and you're going to get blacklisted, not going to get any money. If you follow us, if you know anything about us, we don't even have a decal. A lot of people have asked for decals, shirts, hats. We don't sell anything. In fact, my links on I don't even have an Amazon thing that's live anymore because we've never sold anything. So we'll tell you where to go get it. Shop Mom will get it for you. A lot of times people call and go, "Hey, Shop Mom, how do I find whatever I was talking about?" And she'll tell them where to get it, as opposed to selling it. I know that's bad marketing, and but all that being said is that you can go back to our history and see that we're not selling anything. So that's probably why. Maybe because we don't focus on that better. So I've been taking apart these heads, and a lot of people have been asking. Tell me about them. Tell me, some things that are about them. I don't know anybody who would put in valve stem seals dry. Yes, totally dry. These valve stem seals were just as dry could be. If I don't drop these, okay. So there's no oil on them at all. And what started it out is that we don't bolt heads out of the box. We take them apart and we check them in. I had a lot of, so this is going to be my chance to vent. Maybe we'll get up to the front and I'll vent about that. Is when I come on here to kind of help and tell y'all, but I get people, oh my God, why would you buy these heads and take them apart? You're gonna buy the head, take them apart. You're gonna throw away all the spring. You're gonna throw away all the stuff. It makes no sense. Oh my God, what? I didn't buy these heads. The customer bought these heads and brought them to us. We work with what the customer brought us. Yeah, we're going to take them all apart. We're going to throw the springs away. We're going to change. I go rewind, going backwards. We're going to change. I don't need to go back on the springs. You know what it is. We're changing the springs to match the cam. The customer bought them. We're going to work with what the customer brought us. So that's the thing. You see, people are like, oh my God, you're an idiot. You should have just bought them bare. I didn't buy them. We didn't buy them. We tell the customer all the time, look, I don't go across the street to the Mexican restaurant and say, I don't want a lunch special. Bring me rice, bring me beans, bring me some guac, I'd have a $40 lunch plate. Or I can get the $7.95 lunch special and don't eat what I don't want. So that being said, good quality parts going in. These are from Butler. And yes, you can get these, from Ross yourselves. They actually do some neat things for Butler. Some they do some lightning on them. They do some real neat stuff. So you're just not buying just a name, but buying their design. So this is a full Butler build, essentially everything that they have in their arsenal of parts. This has. So we I should have did all kinds of, how to do a rope seal. Why would we want to do a rope seal in a Pontiac? There's nothing wrong with the rope seal if you know how to install it. ShopMom will read, I have purchased a set of these heads. Came with everything together on it. So a few components to make everything work probably. It was a lot cheaper that way. A lot of times it is. I remember we've used hardened push rods and ate through the cheap, non-hardened guy plates. It's been a while back. So, what else are we working on? We're also been working on this forever, ever and a day, and it's like it's not going to be right until it's right. Got the torque plate on it, got my spacers on it. There's actually a longer stud that goes in a flathead. That's a brand new French flathead. So they're in here now. So this is really, really close to the final hone. VA job is completely done. Everything's been blueprinted and mocked up so many times on this one. Still wish I could just deck it. It's brand new deck. It's a brand new block. But I'm just, if I can't machine everything myself, but we're working on this one still. So that's actually number one and number two priority. And that's basically it. Everything else is moving around because we ain't even taking anything else in. That's waiting on a hiatus list of when Lewis's is gone. This is on a waiting list, just to be here waiting, but it'll be waiting for a while because we ain't even going to even look at that. I'm not even looking at it. I'm covering my hand on it. Doing some collab stuff here. I will tell you more about it. Pretty cool. Just checking this stuff out. This is all brand new stuff. So getting to open up stuff, look at it, micing it, and then letting you all know, how it is. So unfortunately, taking brand new stuff from different manufacturers apart and giving my honest opinion with the micrometer, might get me blacklisted from ever working with anybody else ever again. So I don't want to have my cloud of, mess with somebody else. So, but I just, it's the crossroads of what are we going to do? Are we going to be true to ourselves or are we going to be true to the corporate world? Hey, Rose, hope tomorrow and Sunday goes well. Anyway, here's our Pontiac. There's my black eye. It was not ShopMom. It was me walking through this door here too fast and not paying attention. We hadn't done a live stream in a long time. There's been a lot of stuff going on. ShopMom is right there. Can you see her right there somewhere? There. Nope, you can't even see her. So, all right. So let's see if I can do this without totally messing up. So it's going to be shaking around my first birthday present for tomorrow. I opened it early. Thank you, Faye. I look at that. All right, let's see. And the orientation is way off. I was having issues with, I don't know, ShopMom will tell me, or somebody will tell me if it's even right. I don't know. She thinks it looks pretty good. Y'all let us know. It's been a while. There's been a lot of things going on. I'll give you the updates of what's going on family-wise. Oops, I have a low battery, so we may be.
Oh, it may be a short one.
Yes, it may be a short one. It's okay. I'm on the red zone, so if it ends really, really quick, you know why? I wasn't expecting this. That's why I was running through the shop, and that's why I hit the door with my face. But
you didn't need that face.
I didn't need that face. Yeah, and so this will be a perfect start of my birthday weekend. So time for some water. Been a lot of things going on. A lot of family members passing. A lot of health issues with family members, and it's not over yet.
It has been a rough year.
It has been a rough year, as ShopMom says. Mother-in-law, her mom, my mother-in-law, now father-in-law is in the nursing home. My brother-in-law passed right after that. My other brother-in-law right now is, so we don't need to go through all that. If anything else, is we're all going through stuff. So I'm no special than everybody else. We're no special than everybody else. We all have stuff going on. So we deal with it. We deal with it, and we move on. We deal with it. It's good to have a good circle of friends. It can be family. Sometimes friends are closer to you than family. Sometimes family is closer to whatever, you can make a family. You can, let me help Shop
No,
Mom
I got
with the plug on the bottom.
Shop Mom to the rescue.
Shop Mom to the rescue. She doesn't want this to end.
But we are going to go vote.
All right, we're going to go vote, and I think everybody should vote. There we go. It's going a little bit better. We got power now to it. So, welcome everybody. It started out, weird. I didn't know it was even live, so I'm trying to figure out the orientation. Tell me if you like this orientation better. We normally do it sideways, and for whatever reason, we couldn't do it sideways. It's not a joke. We normally do it sideways. Stop it, people. It is my birthday weekend. I'm liking it. I'm liking that. Thanks, Faye. That's a birthday present. And I normally don't open my birthday presents till my birthday, but I was just so curious. And look, it's neat. It's perfect. So it was almost like meant to be. We needed to go live. It's been a while. I apologize for that. We apologize. Shop Mom's been telling me for several weeks. It's tough being cheerful when there's so much stuff going on, but it's still possible. I mean, I don't know. All right, so bringing you up to date on whatever y'all want to hear. I can't see.
There are questions about the hot vapor car.
Oh, I love that. I'd rather talk about that. So questions about the hot vapor. Usually I have an iPad. We don't even have the iPad because this wasn't, Shop Mom's been saying this every Friday. We need to start getting back into this because with y'all, we kind of just feel like, we're all in the same place. Everybody helps each other. Everybody picks each other up, and you can also learn from somebody's, you can have empathy for other people, and that will sometimes get you through things that you wouldn't be able to do it by yourself. So we're all going through it. I don't want everybody, that's another thing, is that sometimes you all seeing that, guess what? Our life isn't just this world cloud of everything perfect. You make it perfect. All right, they were asking about the hot vapor car. So let's talk about the hot vapor car. Anything specifically, or how we're doing, or where it's going, or where it's been, or what's the questions? I can't see that far.
Actually, there's a lot of comments about people getting older.
We are getting older.
And you don't have to apologize that life gets in the way sometimes.
Well, thank you. I don't know who said that, but thank you.
That was Wade.
Thank you, Wade.
And of course, Rose wants you to know that every time she sees your videos, she thinks about how much you know and how much she wants to learn from you. She's missed the live streams. But I feel like I can sense when life takes the front seat. And boy, has life taken a front seat this year.
I hope that y'all can, because I didn't even turn on Shop Mom's mic or anything. So Shop Mom was just telling me with the stuff that she's reading. Thank you, Rose. I think our next chapter in our lives are into teaching. So
I got somebody here at the front door.
there's somebody at the front door. So you're gonna hear business going on in the front door while we're live streaming. Normally we don't live stream while we're open, but this was just in.
I think it's the guy that's dropping off the LS block for the E85 build.
Oh, where somebody's dropping off a block, so we're
cutting this one short.
We may be cutting short, and we'll come right back, or what?
But we're definitely going to get back on a regular schedule for live streams because I think that's important, not just for everybody else, but for us.
Okay, so leave a message if you want us to come right back on.
Oh no, it's just one lot.
Okay, so all right. She's gonna take care. ShopMom takes care of everything. So ShopMom takes care of the front. Top Mom takes care of the office. She takes care of everything. I don't even see the bills. I don't. I mean, so the next chapter will be teaching and trying to get more people into the automotive world. And automotive world in general, but in the machine shop world. So I would love to thinking about how to do this. My parents still have an auto parts in San Antonio, one of the biggest old auto parts in San Antonio, and I we also have the pressure of it's time to go help my parents to it's time for my mom to retire, but she won't retire. My mom will work till she's, my grandpa was 101. So there's that dilemma of how do I help my mom, how do I help my parents run their shop. I'm always the one that kind of stays in tune with the new technologies. I started welding aluminum way a long time ago and taught them how to do it. We got them welders, so got her shop set up, and then I come and go, and while the crank grinder is not cutting straight, I would blueprint the crank grinder or give training courses teaching them how to weld. All that being said, it could use a little more me time at my mom's shop. And we could, so I don't know. I don't want to do two locations because she's in San Antonio. We're in the Texas Hill Country. This is where we live. So I've vacillated back and forth, all kinds of different ideas. If, I have two locations, spend half my time at my mom's shop, spend half the time here. My mom has 18 employees, so it's a different environment. But that's the environment that I grew up in. So I don't know. I'd like to turn this into a school. I'd love to sell this to someone that wants to get into it. Somebody in the military. San Antonio does have the Air Force bases, and a lot of people decide to retire in San Antonio. After they come to San Antonio for basic, they love it so much that they travel, and they end up coming back to San Antonio because of the cost of living, the food, the Riverwalk, the Spurs. I can go on and on. Then we have Austin. We have so much culture around here. So if anybody wants to move to Texas, to the Hill Country, I'll sell you the shop and train you how to run it. There's all different kind of ideas. So Shop Mom's in the front, so she's probably not. I can't even read that far. Those are all ideas, and I don't want to. Even if we were to move to San Antonio, and actually we're going to still keep living here, but run Mission Auto Parts, take over that or run that or do something to help out. I would still do the live streams. We would still do the educational stuff, the YouTube videos. So that's not ever going to stop unless I get blacklisted from what I've started by talking about products honestly. And that's kind of one of the things that, that started this whole thing was everybody's been asking about these cylinder heads. Oh my God, the valve stem heights are all over the place. And while we might think that it was a human error in the sinking of the valves, I'm kind of at the point was the human error came in the programmer. How can both heads have the same valve sunk in? It's like almost identical. So whoever programmed it, when they ran a cylinder head through a CNC machine, you always have a master. Oh, we have some selector chorizo. Okay, you don't want to show it off, do you? Look at that. Is it legal?
Delivery from Mexico. Delivery.
They can't see it. Give it here. So we got
it's
all
not
right.
for you.
So it's not for me, but we have a delivery from Mexico, and this is chorizo. So American chorizo is we don't need to get into chorizo unless you want to talk about chorizo. Stop it, people. But Mexican chorizo, selecto chorizo, is really awesome. I see green in something, and ShopMom is putting the chorizo away, and wow! All right, is that Wayne's World? Well, thank you. Thank you. I might stay on a little longer. But so there's these things of all this stuff is going through. So this is really I'm just talking about what we've been thinking and going through. So running two locations. Possible because I'd be driving right by here going all the way to San Antonio, and I'd really love for someone, a pair of someone's, a couple or two buddies got out of the military, never went into the military. The military has nothing to do with it, but want to get into this field. I'll sell you the shop. We'll train you how to use it. I can still help my mom. I can still be here. All these are just thoughts. The buildings for sale. So my mom thinks, and she's thought this for the last 5 years, that I should just go ahead and become a school, which is really, I would say my forte is I like to teach. And I've learned everything from Chief, and we learned the Chief way, and then maybe that's the name of the school, the Chief School of Automotive Machinists. It's an old school way of doing things. So you still can get into this field without buying. An example, a cylinder hone. And if you watch any of my videos with Lake Speed, I really do love my buddy Lake, and Total Seal Rings, because one of the things that we always talk about, you can get blacklisted from this industry by being honest. You can get blacklisted from the industry. You would never teach or say the things that you do, but now because of the phone, the internet, YouTube, we have a lot more power to say stuff. Well, Total Seal has really embraced that. It's not like I've called up like, hey, come on down and shoot videos with me. It's something that they want to do. They actually, like when we talk about educate people, because ring technology has changed so much. And it's changed so much that all of a sudden, one bad job that you do, and you have a comeback because you're smoking or using oil. A small shop just starting out, a couple of those can ruin you just in the reputation. A mistake will never ruin you if the reputation is, wow, they made a mistake, but boy, as soon as he found out what it was, he changed his ways to fix that to never happen again. They took care of the problem. They stood behind it all the way. That's golden. That is golden. So don't let a mistake be something that can ruin you. It can actually be beneficial, especially people learn out there. Man, one time they did have this issue, but he took care of it. So there's ways that you can do it. A mistake is a way that you learn. If you learn from it, if you didn't learn from it, then that's like I said, your business could go bad really quick by doing a lot of these early on. But one example, a cylinder hone is $85,000 for one piece of equipment. One. That's not even, you haven't washed the block yet. You haven't even turned an air compressor on yet. You haven't used any shop rags yet. You haven't used any solvent yet. You haven't used honing oil yet. When you're just starting off, you're going to have to run that machine 24/7. You're going to have to run so many inches through that machine. It is cost effective. Like my mom's shop is 18 employees. If you have a guy sitting there at a hone for 4 hours when he could have loaded it, the hone went on, and he could have now been boring a block and resizing a set of rods while the hone is going on, it's making you money.
Your eye looks terrible.
My eye looks terrible. Okay, so
your eye looks terrible, but
come sit with me, ShopMom.
No, I'm not going to sit with you.
All right.
But I do want to point out, and actually there's a lot of folks. Lewis Brooks is here.
Lewis.
Bob Miller's here. Wade's here. Way Up Dude is here. Jason Falk is here. Of course, Lawnmower's here.
Lawnmower's here.
And you have to explain to people that you don't have your usual setup because we weren't prepared.
We weren't prepared. I don't have I don't have the light on. The light's over here in the back. I don't have it on. I don't have my iPad on.
You do have a nice black eye.
I have a nice black eye from walking into the wall, because I got excited when ShopMom, she'd been telling me this for a month or two. It doesn't matter what's going on, and it does matter, but we have a lot of stuff. I've already said that, health issues with people in the family and people passing, but we still can share that we grieve just as, we have people that pass as well. And so, anyway.
So, Stephen actually has a question.
Okay.
And I don't know that you can get into it completely. But
and did you see Wayne's World? We got $5.
Yes,
That's pretty cool.
yes.
I like that. All right.
Yes. But Stephen wants to know, he's got a 350 Chevy with new internals and externals. It overheats every time. I'm using the 733 PT, but should I change to the 1003S? Those are Felpro gaskets. Do you have any suggestions on the head? The heads are Summit Racing 62cc chambers with the 170cc runners. They're aluminum heads.
I like the 170 runner. Usually everybody goes way too big on the runner. That's not why you're overheating. Any more info besides that? That's it.
No,
On the,
that's
and it's
all,
overheating. And it
it's
shouldn't be.
overheating. It's overheating.
So what year is the Chevy 350? If you're running the Summit heads, it's probably like the regular common small block.
62cc. Yeah.
Yes.
It's you know.
It fits everything except for the late model LS. It may be a Vortec, but you change the heads anyway. The block's the same, and there isn't an issue like the small block Ford. Happens a lot more than you think, but the head gaskets go on wrong. I see that a lot. And even when I even have a tip that you can find out if you put the head gaskets on backwards. What it is the head gaskets have a water hose on one side. So when you put the head gaskets on, they can go on either way, whichever way. You want to make sure those openings are towards the back to run water all the way to the back to cool it off. And I've seen this happen more than once, especially on a fresh build. The head gaskets will be on backwards and the hose will be in the front. So the water just circulates across the front and not off the back. But a small block Chevy does not have any inherent cooling problems. So let's figure this out. We're going to figure this out because it's not something.
He says they're early heads.
They're early heads, okay, which is a small block Chevy early heads. You're running a thermostat? I need to know a little bit more. It's not like a clogged radiator, something, nothing.
Right. Something in the cooling system.
Or the water pump itself. I have seen more than once. Just the other day, not too long ago, it came up again.
Yeah,
but
he's running a thermostat.
you're running a stat, which is a good thing. Did you burp it? And that one is generally not a hard one to burp at all. Not hard to turn on your heater and it'll burp, but it's not like the LS.
160.
160 stat, excellent. You're running a stat. One of the common things, everybody removes a stat thinking that's going to make it run cooler. No, it's not. The water circulates too fast through the cooling system, the coolant, and it doesn't extract any heat.
He says it's a fast water pump.
So it is a high flow pump. It is a high flow pump. That's okay. You're not turning it at high RPMs. I mean, I don't know about the RPMs. A lot of times, like you'll see on this motor, which you can't see on this motor, but we changed the pulleys in the water pump to slow the water pump down at a high RPM engine. That's Smokey Unick's invention on the pulleys there. So what else is?
He did burp it, he said.
He did burp it, good.
Or he says burps.
Okay, and then so now does this vehicle have a heater? Because a lot of rods to get rid of the heaters. If it does turn the heater on, it should blow hot. A lot of times if the heater is blowing cold, it's not burped yet. So to help burp it, we turn the heater on so that we can get rid of all the air that's in that system.
No heater.
No heater. Okay, so you have it just bypassed. You just have it bypassed. Okay.
It says right now at 3,000 RPM.
So 3,000 is your max RPM.
Now Blazer wants to know which belt drive system is he using.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a little bit of an issue if you if you change your pulleys and setup. That's a good point. You could have a reverse cooled. You could be turning the pump the wrong way. The only Chevrolet that was reverse cooled, Smokey Unick, and was actually very good, was the LT1. And LT1, I should take that back. I shouldn't take that back, but LT1. There was a lot of LT1s. GM keeps bringing back the LT1. So from 1970, there's a lot of different years with LT1s. I'm talking about the reverse cooled LT1.
And Wayne's World has a suggestion for him. On the small block, get a laser temperature thermometer, $20 to $40, and see what parts are hot to see where to focus the effort.
Yes, and that very good point. And what Marco would do is use his hand on the radiator. But get the laser. They're inexpensive now, like you said, 30, 40 bucks. They're not even that much. And you want to shoot the radiator top to bottom, and you want to see how much cooling it happened. We want to see at least 20 degrees, but that's going to tell you your efficiency of your radiator. So as the radiator, as the coolant is going in and going through, it's going to change temperature. The reason it's changing temperature because it's extracting the heat from the coolant. So if you shoot the radiator from the top to the bottom and there's not a big discrepancy, you're not seeing a change, a difference there, your radiator isn't doing its job. It could be an aluminum aftermarket. We see that a lot. These cheap aluminum aftermarket ones that don't do anything. There's not enough coolant through there. So one thing we want to see is a differential from the top to the bottom. Also, we want to make sure that the whole radiator is hot. Monk will run his hand and he say, There's clogged right there. You got a cold spot on the radiator. The next thing, it could be your cooling fan, and we're gonna address that. I don't know if it's electric or if it's mechanical, but my uncle would take a shop rag and he would hold it in front of the radiator while it's running and drop it. Drop a shop rag in front of the radiator. Maybe this is a scientific thing because the weight of the rag, but if it goes down in front of the radiator, goes all the way to the bottom, you're not moving enough air through your radiator. There's no science behind it besides it always works. If you drop a rag down in front of your radiator, it should go whoop and get stuck to your radiator. If it does, you can eliminate that you're not getting enough coolant through there. What do I see a lot? People get rid of their fan shrouds or they don't know about the fan shroud. They put electric fans, and this isn't your fault. Hayden Trans Tools electric fans, Hayden's coolant fans, and a lot of other companies give you 4 tie straps. They want you to tie strap it right through the radiator. No, you're cooling off a circle. You need to pull it away from the radiator at least a ½ inch. So tell me about, because I think, thanks for Wayne's, was that Wayne's World that was,
Yes.
that's, I'm thinking of, things that, like I said, a Chevy motor, that's not a common problem with it. So
He
the
is
most
using a
common problem
mechanic-
is the radiator
He
cooling.
is using a mechanical fan. Lewis Brooks, of course, wants everybody to know that fortunately flatheads don't overheat.
And they have 2 separate cooling systems. Essentially, one radiator, but got 2 different water pumps with different coolants. So you could get back with 4 cylinders, even if you're overheating on one side. It is a mechanical fan, right? You said mechanical.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it in the fan shroud? I see that is not always right, especially in hot rods. People don't put fan shrouds, but it needs to be in the fan shroud so that it can suck really, really well. You have a fan shroud.
Yes.
He does have a fan shroud. It's mechanical. Do you have a fan clutch, or you're running just mechanical? Because if you have a bad fan clutch, you're not pulling enough air. To check all of these things, drop a rag right down the front. Drop a rag right down the front, and if it gets sucked on the radiator, you can pretty much eliminate that there's not enough air going through the radiator. Does it overheat idling, running, or when you're going down the highway? Remember, we had a Ford in a Falcon that would idle all day long, but going down the highway, it would run hot, but it would idle cool all day. We went around with the cooling and the fan, and what it was a Falcon with everything cut off and modified all kinds of things. It looked really, really cool, but the front of the front radiator support was even cut up, and he had like 2, made really nice. What was happening is the air was just circulating. And to prove this point, because it's like there's no way, we literally got cardboard and tape, and we duct taped everything but the radiator opening. Duct taped it, went down the street, went around, drove around, problem solved. Air was just coming in there and making turbulence. It could sit there and idle and it'd pull enough air to the radiator,
Well, his
but
overheats-
driving it wouldn't do it.
Steven says his overheats at idle.
So yours overheats at idle, but not while you're driving. There's not enough air going through the radiator. When you're driving, you're forcing air through the radiator. But when you're idling, so I guarantee you, I don't guarantee nothing, but I'll take a rag and drop it. It's not going to get stuck to the radiator. It's going to fall straight down right in front of it. You don't have enough air going through that radiator. Or the radiator is not the right size for that engine. But when you're going down the highway, you're pushing a lot more air through the radiator than you are at idle. But you should be able to suck a rag up idling. Drop a rag when it's just sitting there idling. And if it doesn't, just suck it right up to it. You don't have enough air going through that radiator.
So you have a new viewer, just found your channel today, loves the content.
Sorry about the eye.
Uh,
And the orientation, and that I don't have my thing where I can read, and all these. So, sorry for this being the day, but I'm glad you're here.
So he's got an interesting question.
Okay, let's see what the question is.
Any idea on how to O-ring a VR6 with hand tools? Saw your video on the subject of O-ringing blocks, and I believe it would be hard on a VR6.
I think he left a message on it. I think I saw your message on it. Did you leave a message on my YouTube channel on that on the VR6? Yes. It would have to be done with a jig from BHJ. Probably would have to make a jig if they don't already make
And he
one.
did leave you a message.
Okay, so that was good. That was yes, because you with the ISKI tool you can't. You can't do it with the ISKI tool. You could do it on a mill, on a Bridgeport. You could do it on a Rottler boring bar, center. But at home, BHJ makes a aluminum plate. It looks like a torque plate, and then they make a tool with a hand turn that goes on it, but it goes on the deck as well. So it has to be done on a mill.
On a mill.
It has to be on a mill.
You have to do it
You're not
on a
going to
mill.
do it at home. So
Unless you have a mill at home.
yeah, but
not with hand tools.
yes, yes. So
Okay. Mike has a question for you, and I'm sorry if I'm overlooking other people's questions because this is an unusual setup for us. But Mike says, "Hey Danny, greetings from Wisconsin. Would love to know your opinion on which cam you would run on a mild-built Chrysler 440. If you were building, do you prefer hydraulic or solid flat tappet?
okay,
If you can afford it,
yeah. Well, cam choice is difficult because there's way too many variables, and I'm generally make more power with a smaller camshaft. Stop it, people. Stop it. And I would suggest call Mike Chacon at Bullet.
At Bullet
And we
Cams.
have Bullet make all our custom cams. A lot of the majority of our cams are going to be a Bullet, and it's going to be a custom one. I'm always changing something, or I'm working with them in a lot of different things. I'm pulling spring pressure. I get rid of spring pressure. These days, that's one of the things. Go beehive. If you have a sheet of paper and the world is, the birds are chirping and the dippity doo and all that good and everything is fine in the world, put a beehive spring. If you're starting from scratch, but that starts a whole chain of events because the beehive spring, now you got to change the retainers, and now you're going to have to maybe use a spring cup, and now you're going to have. But if you're starting from scratch and everything is just like kumbaya, and I want to make this thing the most efficient, the most power, put a beehive spring. Also, camshafts, go roller. And the reason you're going to go roller is because you're going to pay for that roller cam today or tomorrow. Pay for it now. Pay for it now. Save a little bit more now and put a roller cam setup. The roller cams are really dropping down in price. There's a retrofit kit for them now. So back in the day, it was really, really, really expensive to go roller. It's not as much now, but the cost that you spend to go with the roller cam, like I said, you're going to pay it now or tomorrow. I have a lot of people that I've given this advice to that says no. I don't want to throw anybody down or any magazine owners, editors, writers in their own personal car, and three camshafts later, he will never use, and he's blaming this cam manufacturer first, and then the second cam manufacturer a different one. Like what comp says a long time ago. I remember one of the comp salesmen saying, when we ship the cams out, they have a lobe on them. When there's no more lobe on it, the customer says this is a warranty issue, there's no lobe on it. That lobe left on your hands, not on comp's hands. And it ain't the metal. Trust me, they know how to make camshafts. They may be more production now, and the cam manufacturers are now gone more production, and so some of the refinements may be losing them. But think about this: they're not going to make a cam that doesn't last because lawsuits and comebacks, and it's not cost effective. They're going to make the cheapest cam that lasts. So yes, they may have been more cost effective to make, and but they wouldn't make a cam that wouldn't last. It's the oil. There's no zinc and phosphorus in oil. It's the way you break it in. So right off the bat, put a roller cam and be done with all that. Not that a roller cam doesn't need good oil. Now hydraulic or solid. If you're going to go above 5,000 RPMs, go with a solid lifter cam. A lot of times we'll do tight lash solids. back in the day, we ran solid lifter cams for a race motor, hydraulic for street motors, right? Think of Honda's. Honda's been running a solid lifter cam. A lot of manufacturers run solid lifter cams in an everyday life, in an everyday application, in a family go-getter. Do you hear the lifters, clattering? Do you hear the rockers? No. Everything's now going to a modern tight lash. So I would go to a modern tight lash solid lifter cam. Done. Then you don't have to worry about oil pressure as much as with a hydraulic. And when you start going into a big cubic inch motor, here's a problem. I'm going to use, and a 440 would be right there, kind of like an Oldsmobile with the big main, Pontiac with the big main, 454 Chevy with the big main. You buy these lifters from the manufacturer, and they tell you in the paper. You don't know that until after you open the package, put the lifters out. Now you're getting ready to use them, and they say there, no warranty. If you're using anything thicker than a 1040.
Okay, we're gonna.
But I bought this set of lifters for my big block Chevy. I need to run 2050 in it. I'm running a performance motor with 3.5-inch main clearance. And you want me to run 1040 oil in it. So in other words, the oil that you're going to warranty the lifters on, the motor ain't going to last. The oil that's going to make the motor have oil pressure and last is going to void the warranty because the check valve is going to get hammered in the lifter. All right, don't need to get me going on that. But there you go. Go with a roller.
This is just an impromptu live stream.
Okay, and you get me going. Am I looking better though?
Yeah. Oh. Well, yeah, you're gonna look real good for your birthday tomorrow.
All right.
Okay. Question, Andy Sanchez. Danny, what up from Archie in LA? I have an 81A 1939 Flatty and am in the disassembly process. I removed the valve guides and found that I have small gouges in 3 valve guide holes. Is it junk now?
No. And you talk about the guide hole bore. The bore. No, and flathead's been around for a long time, and the guide just goes in the bore, so you're not losing any oil pressure. It's not affecting anything at all. Anything at all. I even like to run O-rings on intake and exhaust. I like to tighten up everything, even in vacuum. And that's a argument that has been argued for old timers. Don't put O-rings on the exhaust. Only on the intake. Well, to me is why wouldn't I want to seal up everything really, really well? I kind of like the O-ring helping to stabilize the guide as well. What is the drawback with using an O-ring? And that's not the question you're asking on the exhaust. Is just they get hotter and they may cook the O-ring on there, making it difficult to remove later. If you know a flathead, it'll be your grandson or your great-grandson is going to take this apart. I mean, these things go on forever. So it is not something like, oh my God, 10 years from now, 100 years from now, the guide is going to be hard to remove because the seal cooked in there. Have you tried to remove a guide on a regular flathead? They don't come out too easy anyway. So that's not an issue in my world. I'd rather have efficiency. I do something that no one else does that I know of at all. I knurl valve guides, and you're thinking, well, I've heard knurl valve guide. No, you're talking about the inside where the stem goes. I'll knurl the outer side of the valve guide if my block is old, it's been rusted for a long time, been sitting in water or whatever. After it comes out of the hot tank and you buff everything and clean it, a lot of times the bores are loose, right? So what I do is I knurl the valve guide outside diameter 1 for 1. On Lewis Brooks one, it's a brand new, and we didn't start off with the other block. I knurled every single guide to fit every single hole. I even knurl them, and then I etch them, and I even put a line to aim straight up. So when I install the guide, it goes in that hole, aiming this way. If there's any consistencies or inconsistencies in the way the guide is made, no problem. You don't have to worry about that. Even though the guides are made pretty round, use an SBI guide and you're not going to have any problem with that. But I'll knurl them to tighten them up. So the gouge in the bore, not to worry. Like I said, a lot of times when you buff them with the wire brush, if they're old blocks anyway, the guide bores are going to be loose. One of the things about flathead guide bores is they're pretty inconsistent. They're pretty rough. Sometimes I get some real nice ones, nice and tight, and sometimes they're just all over the place. Sometimes they're real loose, and it doesn't look like it's been, sitting in rust for a long time. So I just determined that when they get bored, sometimes the machine vibrates and they get a little looser. Don't worry about the gouges. It's not oil pressure fed. The whole valve train isn't oil pressure fed. It's splash, so it ain't gonna affect anything at all. All right. I don't know if
Okay, we're gonna wrap up, cause we got other stuff we gotta do.
we're gonna wrap up because we're gonna go vote. I don't know if everybody else votes in early or not. But this is Texas, so we're gonna go vote.
We will get back to you on a schedule for live streams, cause we've missed it, we've missed everybody.
And I'll figure out the orientation.
Yeah, we'll
'cause-
figure out the
Or
orientation.
leave me comments that you rather have it oriented this way
No,
or
or
sideways.
it is definitely better the other way.
It's better the other way on a desktop if you're watching it from
Yes.
your
Yes.
from your thing. All right, so
Peace and
if I don't know if Rose is still here or not, but good luck tomorrow. What Rose is doing and Car Crush, they're doing engine classes. This is going to be their second class, and they're teaching people how to disassemble. It's a Chrysler small block. Disassemble it and re-put it back in class. Everybody can actually touch it, see it, put rings on, put bearings on. I think it's an amazing thing that she is doing. It's getting people, even if you're not ever going to do that, it brings you in an environment that's a safe zone. No one's going to laugh at you, and everybody can just get their hands done. And you may get one person that gets inspired and all of a sudden wants to start building engines. That's not the point. If that happens, awesome. But at least you're going to see it done, touch it, see it. So when you can appreciate the engine builder building your engine after you do it. So I think it's a win-win for not only for learning about engines, but appreciating the guys that are building it or gals that are building it. All
And
right.
let's also remember, because there's a lot of new people, we sign off with peace and assembly grease, because that's our thing.
Yes.
But we do thank everybody for their birthday wishes for you.
Oh, well,
Birthday
thank you
boy.
everybody with their birthday wishes. I see a lot of stuff going. And peace and assembly grease, everybody. Maybe we'll try to do another one on Friday again.
Oh, and you got
get
a video out tonight.
Oh, tonight at 6:00, it's a video. That's right, it's on Freeze Plugs. And on this Freeze Plug video, because I already have a Freeze Plug video, and I know some of y'all may be thinking Freeze Plugs is pretty simple. This is a neat freeze plug video because it's on a flat head, and it is a flat freeze plug, not a cup freeze plug. And while doing it, I had already started thinking, you know what? No one, or a lot of people might not know about a flat freeze plug and how you set it. And I've seen them installed backwards, and I've seen blocks broken by taking them off wrong. So watch the video on a flat freeze plug. It's a flathead Jeep. I'm going to be having all my stuff now is pretty much for the end of the season, end of the year. We're spoken for, so nobody's going to bring anything in. I got two Christmas presents. I got Lewis's and I got Dave's. I got a Pontiac and a flathead. That's it for Christmas. Now you know if you're still on, Lewis, but that's your Christmas present here. Go like, yay!
Peace and
All right,
assembly
peace and
grease.
assembly grease, or I can go on all night. And we'll see you maybe next Friday. See you on the next one. Leave me some comments and
I
let
have
me
no
know.
idea how to end
All
this.
right, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. And don't wait, 6:00 Central Time tonight on Flathead Freeze Plugs. All right. Oh, Rose is still there. All right, Rose. Well, we'll see you. Good luck this weekend. I hope that everything goes well. This has been fun. All right, look at that. Look at that. That wasn't ShopMom. That was me. All right, we'll see you on the next one. And if I can figure out how to turn this off because it's orientated differently. Yes, I'm sure. Bye.